You are watching the world 24/7 on the NDTV network. I'm Parmeshwar Bawa. We've got details lined up for you on the worst terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir in recent times and a whole lot more. Let's begin with the top stories we're tracking currently. 26 people were killed and several others were injured as terrorists opened fire on tourists in Pahalgam in the worst terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir in recent times. Prime Minister Modi cut short his Saudi Arabia trip after the terror attack in Pahalgam, which authorities say is the worst attack on civilians in years. US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni were among world leaders who have condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam that has killed 26 people. In fact, world leaders are expressing solidarity with India. US President Donald Trump's trade war will significantly slow global growth and increase the chance of an American recession. This is what the International Monetary Fund has warned. Women in the United States could be paid baby bonuses of $5,000 as part of plans by the Trump administration to drive up birth rates. Trump's aides are mulling a series of incentives to encourage women to have more children and push conservative family values, as per reports. Well, Tuesday began like any other in the serene valley of Baisara near Pahalgam. Lush meadows, pony rides and the quiet hum of nature as we usually know it. But by the afternoon, that quiet was shattered by the echo of gunfires and screams. What was meant to be a day of peace turned into a scene of unimaginable horror as terrorists opened fire on unsuspecting tourists. Some, in fact, shot at point-blank range, others gunned down while trying to flee. The latest we can share with you is that 26 people were killed. Several others were injured as terrorists opened fire on tourists in Pahalgam in the worst terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir in recent times. An officer from the Navy and another from the Intelligence Bureau were also killed in this attack. Military choppers were pressed into service for the evacuation of those injured in the attack, as the area is only accessible on foot or horseback. Union Home Minister Amit Shah reached Srinagar last evening, where he was briefed by the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi cut short his two-day Saudi Arabia trip to come back home this morning. We have a reaction from an eyewitness lined up for you and more. Listen in.
एक्चुअल में हम घूमने गए थे ऊपर पहलगाम में, घोड़ा बुक किए, 5 उन्होंने 7 टूरिस्ट स्पॉट हमारी बात भी की है, सब हुआ। फिर हम जब मिनी स्विट्जरलैंड में पूरा घूमे फिर निकल रहे थे तो ये हादसा हुआ।
अच्छा, किसी को गोलियां चलाते हुए देखा?
नहीं, मैंने गोलियां चलाते हुए नहीं देखा, क्योंकि हम 20 फीट दूर थे, 20 फीट पीछे गोलियां चल रही थी। अच्छा। तो हमने पीछे मुड़ के भी नहीं देखा, क्योंकि लोग एक दूसरे को कुचल रहे थे। अच्छा। गेट छोटा था और जो गेट होता है, हाँ, गेट छोटा था, उसका जो एंट्री थी, एग्जिट था, वो सिर्फ 4 फीट का दरवाजा था और पीछे जो गेट आ रहा था वो 20 फीट लंबा था, उसका 4 फीट की एग्जिट थी और पब्लिक काफ़ी थी। तो क्या सबको लग रहा था कि हम उस पार हो जाए जंगल में, कि पीछे जो रह जाएंगे तो वो मरेंगे, तो सब 4 फीट के दरवाजे से कूदने को देख रहे थे।
और फायरिंग की आवाज़ आप लोगों ने
काफ़ी देर चल रही थी।
अच्छा, काफ़ी देर तक
लोगों ने आवाज़ दी है कि फायरिंग हो रही है और चलते जाइए। बस ऐसे दौड़ा, आगे आगे दौड़ते जा रहे थे हम लोग और पीछे से लोग आ रहे थे, हमको धक्के दे रहे थे, हम लोगों के पैरों में भी आ गए। फिर उन्होंने मुझे उठाए, बच्चे को, ये मेरा बेटा भी है वो पीछे था, उनको निकाले। हम पीछे ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे थे क्योंकि हमको आगे की सोचना था।
जो मेरे देवर हैं उनको गोली लगी हुई है और बाकी लेडीज सेफ हैं, ऐसा आया है न्यूज़ में, मगर एक्चुअली मेरा उनसे कांटेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहा है, इसलिए मैं कुछ अभी बता नहीं पा रही हूँ। नहीं, लेडीज का तो सेफ है, उनको थोड़ा सा जो कुछ हुआ है वो सेफ है, मगर जो मेरे देवर हैं उनके बारे में अभी वहाँ से ही हमको कोई खबर नहीं आई है, इसलिए मैं आगे का कुछ नहीं बता पा रही हूँ।
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi, who arrived in Saudi Arabia on a two-day visit, has cut short his trip. He's back home because of the deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. He's chairing a cabinet committee on security where they are looking at the security measures, what steps to take next. In fact, the Ministry of External Affairs had briefed us that the Prime Minister will be cutting short his trip from Saudi Arabia. Now, he is chairing a key meeting, the visuals of which are playing out on your screens at the moment. Prime Minister Modi has returned from Saudi Arabia. He was scheduled to be back Wednesday evening. However, he has returned home after the deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. We were aware that he was going to be heading a cabinet committee on security as soon as he's back in India. Visuals now coming in of that key meeting that the Prime Minister is chairing on his return from Saudi Arabia. The attack came at a time when Prime Minister Modi was on a visit to Saudi Arabia and US Vice President Vance is in India. The US Vice President has extended his condolences to the victims of this devastating terrorist attack. In fact, the Prime Minister, he had to skip the official dinner. He's back home. As you can see on the right side of your screens, you can see the latest meeting that he's a part of, that he's chairing to take stock of the current situation. US President Donald Trump, Russia's Vladimir Putin, Italy's Giorgia Meloni, Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu and other world leaders have condemned this terrorist attack on tourists in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. In fact, not just Russia, but the United Arab Emirates, France, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Iran also have dropped strong messages of condemnation of this deadly terror attack. According to the Russian embassy, President Putin reiterated Russia's commitment to further increasing cooperation with Indian partners in fighting terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. In fact, the United States has also said in its statement that they strongly stand with India. In fact, agencies suspect the strike was carefully planned, with the militants lying low and waiting for an opportune moment. Before we get you the latest from Pahalgam, let's just go across to my colleagues Aishwarya Jain and Sunil Prabhu, who join us live at the moment. Aishwarya, to you first. Certain reports highlight that the attackers had conducted recce of the area prior to executing this deadly assault. Do we know anything from intelligence agencies yet? Were they aware of any threats in the region prior to this? Also take us through the latest as far as the Home Ministry is concerned.
Well, there were intelligence reports that had been submitted to the Home Ministry, and Home Minister Amit Shah was directly in charge of taking control of the entire situation yesterday. After the incident took place, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who was briefed by Home Minister Amit Shah, and the directions was given from the Prime Minister to the Home Minister to reach Srinagar as soon as possible. And at around 6:40 p.m. yesterday, it was Home Minister Amit Shah, along with the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, departed from New Delhi to Srinagar. And as soon as he landed, he reached Raj Bhavan. He conducted a high-level security meeting over there with top officials, including Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah as well. There was overnight operations that took place. The Home Ministry has assured that all assistance support would be given to all of those people who had been affected in the deadly terror attack over there, and as soon as possible multiple teams would be reaching as far as the extra deployment of CRPF paramilitary forces are concerned to cordon off that entire area. There are in all possibilities, after things get in control, the Minister of Home Affairs Amit Shah would be soon reaching at the spot as well. The NIA team from Delhi and Jammu, two teams have already been deployed. Apart from it, but very important information that we are also gathering at this point of time is that immediately after the arrival to India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was briefed by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, NSA Ajit Doval and Foreign Secretary at the airport itself. And now he has reached at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, which is his official residence. And at 11 a.m. we have been told that the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting has been called by Prime Minister to take care of the stock of the entire situation which is panning out in Jammu and Kashmir.
Right, Aishwarya, do stay on with us as I get in a word from Sunil as well. Sunil, are there any leads on how the attackers managed to enter such a secluded, tourist-heavy area unnoticed? Also take us through the latest reactions as far as the political leadership is concerned.
Well, firstly, I'll start with the political leadership.
Please.
I think across various political parties, in particular, the Congress, the leader of opposition, has spoken to the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, as well as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. And he says the fully support is being given to the government of India at this stage, and that definitely the victims should get the fullest justice. And whatever decision that the government of India does take when the Cabinet Committee on Security meets later today will be supported. This is the worst terrorist attack after 26/11, that is in 2008. We haven't seen these kind of horrific killings on innocent civilians since then. This is really has caught the political leadership, in particular the Home Ministry, as has been pointed out, wanting, as well as the Jammu and Kashmir administration and the police forces and the security agencies. This sends a big blow to the entire Kashmir, valley in particular, which was hoping to get a whole lot of tourism at this present juncture. So definitely a huge amount of a strong response that we can expect from the government of India in this regard. On what they believe is Pak-sponsored terrorism, in particular the organization that has claimed responsibility, TRF, a pseudonym for Voisin, for the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Having said that, across the world, from President Trump calling, the Prime Minister and having a word with them. I think across, various countries, everybody has tweeted, come out in solidarity with the Indian government on what I said has been the worst terrorist attack on India after 26/11, that was in 2008.
Sunil, thanks for sharing those crucial updates with us. Do stay on with us. Aishwarya, in terms of the security failure though, what are investigators saying about the terrorists' ability to move around for nearly 20 minutes without challenge? Also take us through what support systems have been activated on the ground.
Well, anti-terror operations had already been launched at multiple locations just near the site where this incident broke out and terrorists openly fired. We've been told that because this location perhaps suited them, the location was much higher above the ground level. The tourists cannot take cars to a certain location where they were camping. A lot of people from across the country went to have vacations over there, and it is only two directions that one can go up, and there is a plain surface where people normally camp, and then they come down. So certainly it was the jungles on the other side which gave them, the terrorists the advantage to go and hide at certain locations. Of course, the anti-terror operations had already been launched last night. There are several teams which had been deployed at different areas to recce the entire area to combat from the forces. Of course, from Jammu region, from Delhi as well, there are multiple teams which had been deployed after the instructions being given by the Home Minister, and already the situation perhaps currently is under control, as being told, at least for that particular area, but search operation is still underway at the nearby areas is what we have been told. So NIA team along with the forensic team and the teams deployed from Delhi would be reaching very soon after the entire area would be cordoned off, and the investigation will hereon begin with. No one has taken an official responsibility so far of this deadly terrorist attack, but it all seems that there is hands of such organizations who are sitting across the borders, and certainly the government of India, who has a zero tolerance policy against terrorism, had time and again stated that they will give a befitting reply to whosoever are the perpetrators of this deadly terrorist attack.
Aishwarya, as always, thank you so much for joining us with the latest details and contextualizing the information for us. Experts, meanwhile, are arguing that now there are grave implications of this attack on the upcoming Amarnath Yatra and overall tourism in Kashmir as well. Nazir Masoodi has been tracking the latest as far as Pahalgam is concerned. Listen into his report.
Pahalgam is literally a ghost town since yesterday, and it's only the ambulances and the security force who have been here making rounds. An anti-terror operation has been launched, but this operation is what has happened. Operation is too small a response. The way you see Prime Minister himself cutting short his Saudi visit, and then there's a condemnation from the world leaders. Home Minister, hours after the incident, has reached Srinagar. He held meeting with the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, Lieutenant Governor, and top officials also. Now it is today bodies would be sent to the families. It is a massacre where innocent people who have come here to this beautiful place to have fun, to enjoy the beauty of this Pahalgam. They were at Baisaran Valley when terrorists struck and resorted to heavy firing on these innocent men. So this is since there's a shock and disbelief in the valley. In fact, a Bandh call has been Bandh has been called by various trade groups and which has been supported by the political parties also. So there would be a complete shutdown across Jammu and Kashmir today. So in many places, schools are also closed. There was spontaneous candlelight vigils, protests against these barbaric killings. Because this is something, these not only innocent people were killed, but also they want to destroy the economy and the image of Kashmir. It is a hard-earned peace and era when that has been targeted. And Home Minister here is trying to, review the security situation, because the challenge is that just few weeks back he was here on a 3-day visit, reviewed the security situation. Till yesterday morning, nobody had an inkling that there could be such a major terror attack of this proportion.
Meanwhile, a Navy officer who was married just 5 days ago was killed in this deadly terror attack in Pahalgam. Lieutenant Vinay Narwal, a 26-year-old Indian Navy officer from Haryana's Karnal, was tragically killed in Pahalgam. He was recently married just 5 days ago, as I mentioned. He was on leave enjoying a short vacation in Kashmir. My colleague Gurpreet had a chance to speak with the grieving family. Listen in.
26-year-old Navy officer who has already lost his life in this terror attack. Right now we are standing at his residence. We have a grandfather of Vinay with us. We will talk to him. तो सर आपके पास क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन आई, क्योंकि ये कहा जा रहा है कि सिर्फ जो मैन थे उनको टारगेट किया गया, वहाँ पे उनको ही मारा गया?
ये तो मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन जो क्लिप चल रही थी उसमें ज़रूर पता लग गया कि उन्होंने मजहब को पूछ के गोलियां चलाई है, सिर में उसके गोली मारी है, जबकि वो खाना खा रहे थे उस टाइम। ठीक है, तो इन्फॉर्मेशन में सिर्फ इतना ही बताया गया भाई उसको अटैक हुआ है, उसमें गोली लग गई है, इससे फालतू और कोई पता नहीं लगा हमें।
16 तारीख को शादी होती है, 19 को रिसेप्शन होती है, उसके बाद वो शॉर्ट टर्म हनीमून टूर पे जाते हैं दोनों हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ, तो उसके बाद ये इंसिडेंट होता है। तो विनय करनाल में रहते थे, पास में गांव था, कहाँ से पढ़े हैं यहाँ पे, कब नेवी में ज्वाइन किया उन्होंने?
वो जब 3.5 साल के थे, हम गांव से करनाल आ गए थे, 8 सेक्टर में रहते थे और 8 सेक्टर में ही स्कूल है, उसमें वो पढ़ते थे। यहाँ से मैट्रिक की उसने, 10+2 उसने दिल्ली से की है। उसके बाद वो 10+2 के बाद बीटेक की है SRM, अपना राजीव गांधी जो सोनीपत है वहाँ से। उसके बाद वो नेवी के अंदर डायरेक्ट सेलेक्ट हुए थे SSB से, SSB का एग्ज़ाम होता है, उससे सेलेक्ट हो गए, सेकंड लेफ्टिनेंट नेवी के अंदर गए थे। अभी 1-1.5 साल पहले उसकी प्रमोशन हुई थी, लेफ्टिनेंट बन गए थे।
विनय हमेशा ही देश की सेवा करना चाहते थे क्या, उस शुरू से ही? क्योंकि पिता भी कह रहे कि एक जॉब करते थे, क्या
शुरू से ही उसके मन में थी, ये भावना थी कि मैं देश की सेवा करूं। और जब भी वो मिलिट्री गाड़ियां वगैरह बचपन में देखता था तो मेरे से बहुत ज़्यादा सवाल करता था, ये कैसे है, क्या है। तो बल्कि मैं उसको गुस्सा होता था कि मैं खुद बीएसएफ के अंदर नौकरी करके आया हूँ, मुझे पता है बॉर्डर की नौकरी कितनी टफ है। मैं उसके बाद हरियाणा पुलिस में रहा हूँ, तो मैं उसको सोचूं था कि ये इस तरफ ना जाए, क्यों वहाँ तो बहुत टफ काम है। लेकिन उसका मन ही ऐसा था कि उसने 10+2 करते करते भी उसने एग्ज़ाम CDS वगैरह के भी देता रहा। लेकिन
क्योंकि ये भी टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है, हमें विनय भी देश की रक्षा करने में लगे, तो क्या कल कोई ऐसी बात आई, उन्होंने रजिस्ट किया, कोशिश की वहाँ पे, क्या एकदम से अटैक हो गया, क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन?
उस चीज़ के बारे में तो कोई मैंने देखा नहीं है कैसे क्या हुआ। तो वो तो बैठे थे खाना खा रहे, जैसे हमें पता लग गया है। उसके बाद उन्होंने मतलब वहाँ गोलियाँ चली हैं, पूछ के सिर में गोली लगाई है, मारी है उसको।
तो क्या मांग करते हैं, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं ये, क्योंकि विनय एक बहन थी और विनय,
हम तो क्या मांग करेंगे, मांग तो जो गवर्नमेंट करेगी वो करेगी, जो कुछ उनका तो कुछ बन नहीं सकता। जो टेररिस्ट ने गोली चलाई है उसका तो वो तो चला गया, शहीद हो गया, सोच ले। तो हम तो कुछ नहीं मांग करते।
तो विनय के फादर मदर वहाँ गए हैं? कौन कौन गया वहाँ?
विनय के पिताजी हैं और उनकी बेटी है, साथ में गए हैं। और उसके ससुर विनय के और सास वो गई हुई हैं श्रीनगर।
तो विनय और विनय की बहन थे, 2 ही बच्चे थे?
2 ही बच्चे हैं। बड़ा विनय था, छोटी लड़की थी जिसका नाम सृष्टि है।
दादा होने नाते पे, क्योंकि हमेशा आपने उसे बचपन में देखा होगा, देश की सेवा कर रहा था, लेकिन इस समय हम अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं कि बहुत बड़ा लॉस हो गया, तो क्या क्या मांग क्या करते हैं कि क्योंकि जो बच्चा आपने पाला पोसा इतना बड़ा
तो क्या हमने कोई कुछ मांग किस चीज़ की करेंगे जी? हम जो हमारे पास था वही चले गया, और क्या हमारे पास पहले भी तेरा कुछ है, वही कोई बरतने वाला नहीं रहा, और क्या आ गया? जिसके लिए हम कमा रहे थे हमारा तो वो ही नहीं रहा। अब इतने ज़मीन भी है मेरे पास, घर भी है, ये है, तो हमारे पास है क्या?
जस्टिस की मांग करते हैं क्योंकि
हाँ, जस्टिस की मांग करते हैं, न्याय मिले हमें कुछ न कुछ। ठीक है।
Well, Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's speech from last week is in sharp focus today, not just for his threat of violence in Kashmir, but also the communally divisive words. We'll keep tracking the latest for you, slipping into a quick break for now. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi cut short his Saudi Arabia trip after the deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. Over 26 people are dead. Now, a cabinet committee on security is to take place at 11 a.m. in New Delhi as the Prime Minister is back home. In fact, as soon as he returned, he already took stock of the current situation. As you can see, visuals from that key meeting coming in on the left side of your screens. But a cabinet committee on security is to take place at 11 a.m. New Delhi time as he's back home. The Ministry of External Affairs had said that the Prime Minister will be cutting short his trip. In fact, for the key takeaways from Saudi Arabia and what's lined up for today, Mohammad Ghazali will be joining us in just a short while from now. As far as the Prime Minister's Saudi visit is concerned, you must note it was of great significance as Saudi Arabia is India's 5th largest trade partner. India, meanwhile, is Saudi's 2nd largest trade partner. As far as financial year 2023 and 24 is concerned, India's imports from Saudi Arabia reached about $31.4 billion. But the focus right now moves back to home ground as the Prime Minister has touched down in New Delhi. He was at a key meeting taking stock of the current situation after the deadly terror attack in Pahalgam. Ghazali is live with us at the moment. Ghazali, take us through the latest details. The Prime Minister is now back home, expected to chair a major meeting at 11 a.m.
Yeah, certainly, because his trip was cut short yesterday when he was briefed about what had happened in Pahalgam terror attack, and he even delayed meeting the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. He went there, though the discussions revolved around different investment and trade ties and other issues, but Mohammed bin Salman also condemned the attack in Pahalgam. He even offered help to India in this regard, that Saudi Arabia stands with India for any kind of assistance when it comes to the terror attack in Pahalgam, and it is
Well, Ghazali, thanks so much for joining us for that quick update. Zipping to a very quick break now. Back in a moment.